Ever since the original F&F movie, aka The Fast and the Furious, came out in 2001, this franchise with every subsequent movie kept growing, and today, the whole F&F franchise under Universal Pictures is worth multi-billion dollars and is also Universal's biggest franchise.
Take the wheel! What? This is crazy!
Guys, today we're here to check out some mind-blowing fast facts about these high-octane flicks. But before that, don't forget to subscribe to Premiere Cuts to watch more interesting videos.
No, Ted! I don't want to die!
Number 15. No words. To kickstart things, let us talk about how both the leading characters, Letty and Brian, don't speak directly to each other until Fast and Furious 6. Both the characters had their first one-on-one conversation at the end of the movie when Brian approaches Letty to apologize, and she says, quote, "I may not remember anything, but I do know one thing. Nobody makes me do anything I don't want." That was perhaps the first direct interaction between Letty and Brian, and that too after 6 full-fledged movies. Number 14. The Drift King. Keiichi Tsuchiya is a professional race car driver. He is known as the Drift King for his non-traditional use of drifting in non-drifting racing events, and his role in popularizing drifting as motorsport. So now that the formal introduction is done and dusted, it's time for us to tell you that the real-life Drift King, Keiichi Tsuchiya, appears in The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, but not as one of the drivers. He appears as the fisherman who makes fun of Sean learning how to drift. However, it was him driving during most of the scenes where Sean is learning. Number 13. Shooting for free. What is better than getting to have locations where you can shoot scenes of your upcoming movie without paying a penny? This same was the case during the shooting of Too Fast, Too Furious, as the South Beach mansion owned by Cole Hauser's villain, Carter Verone, in Too Fast, Too Furious, once belonged to Sylvester Stallone. The film's director, John Singleton's friend, owned the house at the time, allowing them to shoot there for free. Number 12. Handpicked by Walker. The Skyline GTR in Too Fast, Too Furious was Paul Walker's car. In fact, as a real-life supporter of car culture and street racing, Walker handpicked all of the cars for the second film. Highlights of the Paul Walker collection include 7 BMW M3s, a 1989 Nissan Skyline race car, and a 2009 Nissan 370Z that was used in the filming of Fast 5. The 1995 BMW M3 Lightweight is one of just 125 produced. Walker was an avid fan of BMW and kept a total of 7 M3s in his collection. Unfortunately, his lust for speed also became the cause of his demise, as Paul was just 40 when he died. The Porsche he was traveling in crashed into a concrete lamppost and tree at high speed before catching fire, killing him and his friend Roger Rodas, who was driving. Number 11. Goodbye, Paul Walker. The original ending of this movie was supposed to be the family ending up solving the problem, and then, going more outlaw, it was sort of a happier ending that kind of ends with the insinuation that they were going to go off into this heist. But, following the tragic death of Paul Walker in 2013, the end of Furious 7 was completely changed to pay tribute and say goodbye to the actor. Quote, "The original ending of Furious 7 was set up, the bigger world of where the Fast and the Furious franchise could go into, and that was very logical of them to think so. But when the tragedy happened, all of that became irrelevant." Director James Wan stated that they realized how important it was to make a movie that finishes, and that just outright is a tribute to Paul Walker. Number 10. The correct watching order. With a weird chronology, mixing up of characters, and of course, a fast-paced plot, it is difficult for even the most die-hard Fast fans to know everything about the films. Knowing the fact that the fans of the franchise are well aware that Tokyo Drift kind of comes out of nowhere and then kills off Han, who is alive and well in subsequent films. So, just to clarify and to make things a little bit more chronological, the correct order to watch the first 7 Fast and Furious movies is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7. Number 9. Illegal street racing and Tokyo police. The origins of the entire franchise are based on one magazine article. Scott Stuber presented producer Neil H. Moritz and director Rob Cohen with a 1998 Vibe magazine article by Ken Lee titled Racer X about illegal street racing in New York. Fast forward to the Tokyo Drift, which was Justin Lin's first foray into the franchise, for which he had to use different tricks to complete filming. Since it was extremely difficult to film in Tokyo, the lead actor, Lucas Black, had to wander amongst real pedestrians, while a small crew filmed him and tried to get as much footage as possible before cops shut them down. Fun fact, during the filming, a few crew members even got arrested. Number 8. Car auditions. Vehicles are of utmost importance in all the Fast and Furious movies, and to find the best possible vehicles, Justin Lin had casting calls, not only for actors, but for cars as well. Production would publicize a meetup place for people to bring their cars, and filmmakers would choose drivers in their cars for scenes as they were needed. Number 7. Big bucks. By the time Fast 5 rolled around in 2011, the franchise was raking in a lot of dough, which meant those behind the movies had to work even harder and spend even more money to make the next films bigger and better. The train sequence in Fast 5 cost $25 million all by itself, including costs for a 600-yard stretch of train tracks, not to mention the purchase of an entire train just so they could destroy it. Number 6. No driving licenses. Both the women with leading roles in the movies, i.e. Jordana Brewster performing Mia and Michelle Rodriguez performing Letty, did not know how to drive before being cast in the first film. Both had to get their licenses to be part of the movie. Both the women not only learned how to drive, but also ended up bamboozling viewers with their well-orchestrated stunts. Do let us know which stunt, pulled off by either of the two in these movies, was your favorite. Number 5. Hobbs and Shaw. Social media has a lot of say, as opinions of the masses are collected that are highly impactful on decision-making. The same power of social media introduced Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Hobbs. Vin Diesel used his Facebook page asking fans for their opinion on what to do with the story, and one suggestion was a role for the hulking wrestler-turned-actor. Some claim that Johnson himself then approached Universal asking to be part of the franchise, as the role was initially written for a Tommy Lee Jones type of actor. Do let us know if you also contributed to that social media poll. Number 4. Who needs CGI? Justin Lin's Fast 5 features a dynamic train heist sequence in which the main characters attempt to steal high-performance cars from a speeding train. Shot practically in Arizona, this stunt in Fast 5 with a truck slamming into the train was done for real without the use of CGI. The truck was built specifically for the scene and was so heavily reinforced it almost derailed the entire train when they shot the scene. Number 3. The dating part was real. Talking about Our Lady Rodriguez, she was dating Vin Diesel in real life during the shoot. The unparalleled chemistry of Dom and Letty was more than evident in their on-screen appearance. Number 2. The vault heist. To portray a large vault being dragged by Diesel and Walker's characters on screen, 6 separate vaults were built to accommodate certain shots that were needed, including a full-size vault and a lightweight vault that could be easily towed. The primary stand-in vault used was a shortened pickup truck chassis with a vault-shaped case that fit over it. In essence, the vault was a steerable, single-driver minicar hooked to Walker and Diesel's cars to make it look like their characters were dragging it. Number 1. Vin Diesel's cameo. Knowing the fact that most of the main cast was missing in the Tokyo Drift, Vin Diesel made a deal with Universal Studios for a cameo role. This deal was of utmost importance to Universal Studios since they wanted to signal that he would be back in the movies to come. Interestingly, Vin Diesel agreed to perform this cameo role for free if Universal gave him and his production company the rights to the Riddick character, whom Diesel portrayed in his breakout role in 2000's Pitch Black. After 2004's The Chronicles of Riddick, Universal stopped the movement to make a third because of a poor box office showing, but Diesel wanted to make the movie. In the end, Diesel made his cameo appearance, was given the rights, made a third Riddick movie in 2013, and remained as one of the main characters for all subsequent Fast and Furious films. So guys, those were some fascinating facts about the Fast and Furious franchise. Do let us know which fact you enjoyed the most in the comment section. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and do consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.